Welcome to the Assent Podcast, Episode 7, Relationships Revisited. This is a podcast about assenting to the right principles. As I have been discussing, life is about living purposefully. First, as an individual, by developing body, mind, heart, and spirit towards that which has meaning. One of the ways you live purposefully is by identifying your unique strengths and weaknesses and developing these into skills at individual, relational, and community levels. In an earlier episode, we looked at the different levels of relationships, student, teacher, and partner, and how we should be conscientious of all the ways we communicate with others. Let's take a deeper look at relationships. You exist for other people. Therefore, you should understand yourself if you want healthy relationships. People travel to wonder at the heights of mountains, at the huge waves of the sea, at the long courses of rivers, at the vast compass of the ocean, at the circular motion of the stars, and they pass by themselves without wondering. Augustine. Recognize you have a body, mind, heart, and spirit, and you can build healthier relationships if you yourself are healthy. We all start from unique places, but we can all work on being healthier in body, mind, heart, and spirit. Get a baseline on your physical strengths. Find some time to outline your mental qualities. What do you know? What could you know more about? What are the desires of your heart, and how can you find emotional balance and contentment? As for spiritual, don't feign animal ignorance, but never pretend complete spiritual understanding, for those are deep waters. Who are you? What do you judge and value more? The physical, the mental, the emotional, or spiritual? No person walks a perfect balance between the comfort of order and the growth of chaos. Every person is a mixture, sometimes fluctuating between the poles of chaos and order as they relate to their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual selves. Who are you? Write it down. Take what is inside out and make it tangible. Write about your personality. What makes you happy, motivated, gives you meaning? Write your feelings about others. Are you an introverted or extroverted person? Write about your dominant traits. What is good about those traits? What is bad? How could you develop non-natural traits? To understand yourself, do a little bit of time travel in your writing. What things actually happened to you in your past? How can you choose what story you tell yourself about those things from the past? And how will you change the past by changing those stories? What do you desire for the future? What things are in your control and what things are outside your control? If you put in hard work to understanding yourself, understanding others will be easier. Remember, other people are like you in that they have bodies, minds, hearts, and spirits. They have pasts you may not know about and desires for the future that you don't see. To build healthy relationships, you have to value people. During the industrial age and the development of the capitalist systems that followed, these value chains created much prosperity for Western civilization. They built accounting systems and physical structures around those industrial age value chains. However, there is now a new value chain emerging, that of human value. Do not neglect this. How do you value people? By listening. Listening is different than hearing. Listening implies a desire to understand. Like music, you can hear music, but do you know the notes, the beat? What key is it in? How does it change and move? Avoid the pitfalls of autobiographical listening. The intention of listening is to learn, not judge. Look at what someone communicates Looking at what someone communicates through your own lens sets up a judgment from where they are different from you. Don't do that with people that you want to value and build relationships with. Next, always ask clarifying questions to try to understand the root of what others are getting at in the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Learn to listen with the body, learn to listen with the mind, learn to listen with the heart and the spirit. If you are able to connect with people at these levels, be conscious of how this type of living can influence your community. Individuals are not always logical and therefore unpredictable, particularly in large groups. The information age has brought greater understanding of people, and communities have greater ability to manipulate the individual and therefore the group. Don't buy into all the propaganda, but also don't leverage the knowledge of people's desires to be seen and understood in order to manipulate them. At the community level, communication and relationships are called population management in healthcare. Businesses call this marketing, governments call it propaganda, and religions call it evangelization. Don't shy away from these ideas. If you have something of value, which you do, share it. All of marketing, in its various guises, is communicating how a community solves particular problems. Sharing what you have that is valuable boils down to a few simple questions. What's the product? Its price? How will it be distributed and promoted? Be prepared to deal with objections when you bring something valuable. Objections come in two forms: affordability and meaning. Affordability can be monetary, time, need, etc. Usually these objections are excuses, particularly if what you have is valuable and meaningful. However, if they are legitimate, it means you haven't put in enough work understanding yourself and others. You could have missed the mark. Don't sell that which does not have meaning. In the 21st century, we are living in a marketing free-for-all. Unlimited wealth to the best liar. Don't be that person. Don't manipulate people into buying junk. The documentary Kumare exposes people's willingness to buy into lies. Don't capitalize on that. The ability to abuse and sell things to people in various physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual states that are meaningless is a lot. Keep your life simple. Be skeptical and keep your focus on what is meaningful. Thanks for listening to the Assent podcast, a podcast about purpose, skills, people, environment, and resources. I hope this has been educational, inspiring, fun. See you next week. As always, helpful resources are below or in the notes. And please help me out by liking and subscribing to this podcast. Let me know what you think in the comments. What did you like? Where could I make this podcast better?